So Dan, welcome to this celebration. We're so excited that you're here. I want to ask you this first. What is your favorite way to use Hapbee?
Well, I use it. Thanks a lot, Scott. And, you had me at hello. I think I had 3 minutes to find out about this in the middle of last year. And I said, oh, I got one of those. And, I had some thoughts about, how you were approaching it. So we had a Zoom call, I think about 2 weeks after you told me. But, I totally buy into this, the science behind this when you told me. And we got ours, I think, when did I get it? Probably late August. I think it was 20th of August or something like that. And we were busy for a couple of days, but then, we got plugged in and so I've meditated. So next, in 2022, I will have been meditating every day for 50 years. So, and wow. So I meditate every morning. I don't often get to it in the afternoon, but I do it every morning. And it was TM, I learned TM and, have my mantra and I've done it. And it's just a great way. I do it after exercise. And so I did it. But what I did is the first day I went to Calm and I just put the Hapbee on and, I started meditating. And immediately, I got sort of a busy brain and nervous brain. So oftentimes it takes me 4 or 5 minutes to, actually get into it. But the Calm, the moment I started meditating, I just dropped down to what is a really great meditative level for me. And it just goes. And then I do most of my creative work in the morning. Babs and I, by the way, I'm co-founder of Strategic.
Yes.
And co-owner.
That's right.
And,
we need to tell everyone real quick about your better half. Babs Smith is the CEO of Strategic Coach. Without her, Dan, what would you be?
I'd be a smart drunk worried about the rent.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah,
kind of smart, but not very productive. So I've got 2 parts to my life: before I met Babs and after I met Babs. And so we've been together for 38 years, and we're partners in life, we're partners in business. But without Babs, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't know me, and anyway, life would be a lot different. But so I do a lot of creative work. So what I do after meditation, I take it back to an hour and I put it on alert or focus, depends upon the work that I'm doing. And but it's very interesting because I coach workshops. So Strategic Coach is in group workshops, and I really know it. I've been coaching for 46 years, and I've been doing workshops for 31 years. So I know the lines, I know the melody line, and Zoom has been fantastic. I mean, Zoom, I don't want to wish bad things on the world, but Zoom has just been revolutionary for us because our coach program really lends itself well to Zoom. And so what I do is that I put it on Hapbee, and we take a break every 50 minutes, and every 50 minutes I put it on Hapbee. So I just do workshops where I'm happy, and so I sit there, and I'm really charming, and I'm really positive about people. So I found that it's just terrific, and so I did that, and I do that as soon as I heard about Dave Asprey's. His suggestion, I put it on, works totally well, great sleep. And so I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'll be happy when you extend it to like 4 hours.
Yep, that's next.
Because basically I pee at the 4-hour mark, and so that's a perfect timing for me. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. So
to our coders listening, there you go.
Yeah, and then the one that I haven't really used that much is relax. But we're into our second month, or and so
Yeah.
gradually I'll get to it. And the one I'm looking forward is high. I just want a mood that's really, really high.
Deal. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll work on that one next.
Yeah, let's take a vote right now. How many of you all this sleepy stuff and alert stuff and everything, but what you're really looking for is high. How many of you are really into the high?
I think that's probably a third of the people already on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to pre-sell this one for you.
Well done. So thank you, Dan, for that. That's good feedback. And for everybody listening, we've got another feature coming out next week on the app, a couple of more bug fixes, and then our goal is to move up to 4 hours for sleepy, 2 to 4 hours, and give people more time. So, okay, so this is a great intro. Everyone knows who you are and what you're about. Real fast for everyone, Dan was one of the first people I talked to about this opportunity when it came up. And he said 2 fast things. He said, 1, I'm connecting you with a guy who's in charge of security because you need bodyguards for what you're about to create. And then number 2, I'm connecting you with Joe Polish and Dave Asprey and that whole community. And so really, Dan was my who, not how. And this is why this is full circle, Dan, because I love having you on at such a celebration moment in our company's history. Having I have so many of my friends and family in here, our board in here, we have our team on here. Who, not how is such a fantastic mindset for life. Whether you're an entrepreneur or a family person or a friend or what it is, let's talk about this because you're the king of mindsets, and Hapbee at its heart is a mental wellness product. And so let's talk about your book for a second. I want everyone to know what your thinking was behind this who, not how idea.
Yeah, and first of all, it isn't my idea. It's actually Dean Jackson's idea. So Dean I have a podcast with Dean, and Dean is just an amazing marketing thinker. And he's, and I've known him, he's been in coach for probably a dozen years. And I have a podcast series with him, which is called Welcome to Cloudlandia. Cloudlandia being, the virtual world. And, but one of the things we talked about, and telling people about procrastination. And I said, it's really weird. I'm 76, by the way. I was born in 1944. And all my life, I've heard procrastination is a really bad thing. People are guilty of, their procrastination. They're ashamed of procrastination, but I've never met anyone who doesn't procrastinate about something. So I said, isn't that a weird thing? I said, probably if I talk to 8 billion people, every one of them's a procrastinator, but they're ashamed of it. They're kind of closet people, I procrastinate. And I said, I don't know anybody who doesn't procrastinate about something. I think where the difference is, we don't procrastinate about the same things. So I was talking to Dean one day, and I said, when you think about what you want to do tomorrow, a quick way of actually identifying really important things to do tomorrow is every night, just say, what are the 3 things that I'm procrastinating most on? And Dean looked at me, and I said, and the things that you reveal will be really great things for tomorrow. If you just use procrastination at nighttime to identify your main activities in the morning. And he said, have you known this for a long time and you haven't been sharing it with me? Because Dean and I are both procrastinators. And so we started talking about it, and we immediately created the next day, actually, we did our first podcast, and it was called The Joy of Procrastination. And I said, I think procrastination is a form of wisdom, that the goals that you're thinking about are really good. These are really good. They're really great goals, but you're coming back and you're saying, you're asking the question, now, how do I get there? And I said, it's the wrong question. It's not how I get there, it's who gets me there, And of course, Scott, your whole venture, this one that I know about, firsthand over the last year has been finding who's after who's after who's, and including people who live in that country north of the United States. You've discovered all sorts of people there.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you can have any kind of goal in the world. If you don't hold yourself accountable for you doing the hows, just identify the goal and then find people who have, not only do they know how to do the how, they're better than you. Okay. So the book Who Not How I wrote, and Ben Hardy, who's a phenomenal writer, he's a world famous blog writer, and he's just produced 2 best-selling books. And he came up to me and he said, you don't really create books for the general market, do you? And I said, no, I just don't have I said, I do it to create next workshops. So right now I'll write a book, and then the next quarter will be about the book. So they have the book, they have the audio, they have the video and everything like that. And he said, well, if you ever want to do a major market book, I'll do the writing for you. And so we worked on it for about a year, and we couldn't get a publisher. And then at a Joe Polish Genius Network, and Joe's just the greatest connector in the world. I have one person in my Rolodex, anyone I want to know. I just called Joe, and Joe said, oh, I'll introduce you. He's just the greatest connector in the world.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah. And so anyway, and then Ben said, we need another person on the team. And he brought in Tucker Max. And Tucker's he's just a marketing genius, from a book standpoint. He's a book packager, he's a book strategist. But, and then we met Reed Tracy, who's the publisher at Hay House, which is, they're a major publishing power. And I met Reed Tracy, and I said, hi, I'm Dan Sullivan. And he says, well, I've been following you for years, but it doesn't seem like you're interested in major market. I said, I just can't do that kind of work. I don't have the follow through. I don't have the, and I have to, I'm not interested in projects I can't complete in 90 days, so I can complete a book every 90 days, but I can't do that. So Tucker got us a contract right away. And so what I did is I just created a collaboration where they get all the money, Ben and Tucker and Hay House get all the money from the books, but I get the registrations from people reading the book. And it's a perfect collaboration. And now it's worked so well that we have a 10-year contract of 10 major books in 10 years. This was the first one. And we were #2 on Kindle worldwide on Wednesday, but Lee Child introduced his next Jack Reacher novel, and boom, I mean, that's like 1.5 million and $1.5 million in a half hour, so, but I don't mind being #2 to Lee Child.
Jack Reacher. Yeah.
Jack Reacher. And I'm one of the culprits because I pre-ordered them 6 months ahead. And anyway, so that's it. So this is the whole notion. And when you read the Who Not How book, it's a collaboration. Dean had the original idea, and I acknowledged Dean Jackson right up front. And then it was only because of Joe Polish that we were able to do the collaboration with Ben Hardy and Tucker Max, and then with Reed Tracy. And then, I wrote a small book called Who Not How. And so Tucker took that, and then he interviewed me on my book, and then he added story. And Tucker's, he's a psychologist. He knows all the psychological research. So, and then we gave him 26 clients who have made great progress with it. And we were a little too far along, or we would have included you, Scott. But we'll catch you on. We'll catch you on the next book.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Dan.
Yeah,
well,
but I have to tell you, I met you at lunchtime at one of our Chicago workshops, and your coach at that time, Lee Brower, said you got to meet this guy, and I'm smart enough to take the cue.
You were the first person I really talked to about this opportunity, Dan, and I really owe you a debt of gratitude and thanks, because if it wasn't for this Who Not How idea, our whole company really wouldn't be here. I mean,
well, I want you to take over the world with this.
I hope so. Me too.
I mean, deep down, Scott, we're all about global domination.
For good. For good.
Only for good.
That's right. Well, let's talk about this, Dan, because you
are. By the way, I just want to tell people we got a one week special from Hay House that you can get Who Not How on Kindle for 99 cents until Sunday. So if you want to get the book, and we've got great reviews. The reviews have all been 5-star reviews, and our books are short. It doesn't take a long time, and we've got an audio track where Ben Hardy reads the actual text, and then at the end of every chapter, he interviews me about experiences and insights. So I'm on it, but
Gotcha.
I can't read text for 2 hours. It's not something I can. In addition to Hapbee, I take some other things that improve my mood and my concentration. So
All right.
maybe one day you'll replace all my other.
That's someday. We'll get there long term. So Dan, let's talk about this too, because you think you're probably the most spry, active 76-year-old man I've ever met.
Yep.
And you have a vision for your life that not many people on earth have. And I want to talk about this for a minute, because mindset really is everything.
Well, I think that what you're doing is very crucial to a particular goal I have, and so long story short.
How long are you going to live? What's your
So my goal for my lifetime is 156. So in 1987, we were getting close to the end of the century, and there were a lot of stories being written now about what had happened in the 20th century, and they were interviewing people who had been born in the first year, like in the year 1900. And I found this really interesting. I said, it'd really be neat to, it must have been neat to be born in the first year of the century and live for the entire 100 years. And lots happened. Of course, this was a very active century, both positively and negatively. So I said to her, so I was just playing around with it. I do a lot of musing about ideas. And I said, so what if I just took 56 years, because I was born in 44, if I just took 56 years from the 20th century and then start over again, I get 100 in the 21st century, that'd give me 156. So I said, I'm going to test this out, and just a project with myself that every time I think of my lifetime, I'm going to say 156, 2100, year 2100. And after about 3 years, every time I thought about my lifetime, I thought 156. And it was about 5 years in, so 87 I started. Around 92, I just did a little exercise where people would, and we do this actually in the first hour when people come into Strategic Coach, and we simply say, on a sheet of paper, we just want you to write down, at what age are you going to die? And everybody writes down a number. It was weird because you grow up, people say, well, nobody knows how long they're going to live. But what I've discovered, and I've done this with over 20,000 entrepreneurs, and they've done it with 1 million other people. I say, just write down how long you're going to live, and say it's 85. And I say, okay, let's not talk about 85, let's talk about 84. And I said, when you're 84, how do you want to be physically? Everybody wants to be vibrant, really great. I said, mentally, how do you want to be? Everybody wants to have, total faculties. Their mental faculties are really good. And I said, how do you want to be financially? And they said, oh, independent, no worries about finance. I said, what about your relationships, your closest relationships? Everybody wants to have lots of close, supportive relationships at 84. And then I say, well, you're 84, you're looking back at your whole life. What do you want to say about your whole life? Oh, maximize my potential. I've done everything I could do. All 20,000 people answer. The different, they have different age, some are 90, some are 75, but they all say exactly the same thing. So then I'll take one person who's answered and I take them through. I said, okay, let's get straight. You're going to die when you're 85, but at 84, you're really healthy, you're really fit, you're mentally really sharp, and financially really well off. You got great relationships, very supportive, and you think you've lived a really great life. So if you were that way at 84, what are the chances you'd die at 85? And they said, oh, I wouldn't. Oh, you wouldn't die at 85? No. When would you die? I said, how much beyond 85 would you die? And they said, I don't know, 15 or 20 years. And I said, which, 15 or 20? And they said, well, 20.
Yeah.
I said, so here you were half hour ago, and you were going to die at 85, and now you're going to die at 105. And I said, and that's just the first half hour. And that's what I just gave you 20 years. And I did. And I did, because from that point forward, when they think of their life, they think of the new number. And my thesis is everybody's got a number, but very few people know what the number is. But when you get them to choose the number, and what happens is immediately they start getting fitter. Immediately they start eating better. Immediately they have time for bigger goals.
Right.
Bigger goals. And so my feeling is that right now there's a barrier at 120. No, one person in history has lived longer than 120, a woman in France who died about 10 years ago, because it's called the Hayflick barrier, and it's when your cells stop reproducing. And I would say that this is kind of like the 4-minute mile, that the big thing that science and technology has to come to grips with, and they haven't yet, is can you get the cells to either reproduce more or slow down the reproduction and everything else?
Yep.
But I'm 76 and I got a complete game plan for when I'm 100. I mean, 100, I still have 56 years left to go. So
I love that, Dan. That's the best mindset. And my favorite thing about you is, I think one time someone said, "Well, what if you don't make it?" And you're like, "I don't care.
That's
not my problem."
No, when I tell audience, not coach clients, but audiences, I tell them that, they say, "Well, I think you're just setting yourself up for disappointment." And I said, "Well, not me. I'm out of here."
That's beautiful.
I said, "It's all the 10 projects I haven't finished. But that's somebody else's problem."
That's right.
And everything like. But here's the thing. I believe that mindset rules over everything.
Yes.
And you've really seen this in the last 7 months. I mean, I have to tell you, I'm 76, and this is the biggest event of my life, the last 7 months. It's the first event that just affected everybody on the planet, and I've, we had to switch virtual. We switched the company to virtual in about 2 days. We switched our offerings to the entrepreneurs within 10 days. We had a complete schedule of offerings, and we're totally virtual. And in September, we started creating virtual only workshops worldwide. And I've said, we were talking, I had a workshop yesterday, and I was talking, and I said, what's the difference between the people who think that this has been a great 7 months and this has been a terrible 7 months? And I said, the ones who think it's a great 7 months always had a future that was bigger than their past. And they have an even bigger future now at the result of the last 7 months. And the ones who've just hit a wall, they've been blindsided and everything else, they now have a past that's way bigger than their future. And there's only 2 types of people. You either have a future bigger than your past, or you have a past bigger than your future. And it's all mindset. It's all mindset. It doesn't have anything to do with except mindset. And I think that what you're doing, Scott, and I'm kind of thinking this up because this is a big surprise. I mean, you kept this. Yeah. You have other secrets you've kept from me? Anyway, I think that what you're doing is that you're maximizing to the total, really maximizing what kind of help people can get for having daily positive mindsets. I think that you're giving them, you're kind of surrounding them with support for positive mindsets. So that's what I think.
Yeah, that's
you
beautiful.
still have to make the choice in your mind, and and it's your choice. But if you're getting a lot of support, neural support for being positive, I think this is huge. And I don't see I don't see any end to your growth, and I don't see any end to the possibilities. I think I just don't want you to get bored, Scott. You got to keep it real interesting.
Don't worry, I won't. This thing has so many legs, it's crazy. But I think you said it right, Dan. I mean, what we've seen in the last 8 months, where initially there could be fear and like, oh my gosh, what is the new world? When it came to rethinking first principles of Hapbee, it was, oh my gosh, we have one of the world's best mental wellness products. We have the ability to give people control of their mood and their feelings and their biophysical nature. What better product for the world right now than this? And so and you've helped that mindset because
it's all good. I mean, there's no downside to this.
Yeah. Well, we're very excited, and I really do appreciate your time. For the sake of time, we got to finish up here pretty quick. But
can you just have Babs say hello to everybody?
Yeah, let's add Babs on, because the sweetest one on this entire call. We got to make sure we highlight her. Where did she go? Yeah. Babs, are you there?
She's there. Babs, are you there?
Just unmute if she can unmute, and we can.
I'm unmuted.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Babs.
Yeah, hi.
Everybody say hi to Babs. Babs is the director of all of Strategic Coach. She is the brains she's the beauty of the operation and the brains. Dan just is the body, I think.
You know what? Hapbee is awesome. It's and it's got Dan to keep his iPhone charged up.
Yeah.
Which is
the first time in 25 years I've had any reason to keep my phone charged. I can go 3 weeks without my phone being charged.
That just says a lot about how important Hapbee is to him on a day-to-day basis. And
that's awesome.
But it's brilliant, and good job, and congratulations, and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
You and I know you're coming out with more signals, and everybody finds their signal and their favorite one and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, thanks, Babs, for being here.
What are you going to do when you grow up?
Is that me or Babs?
No, you. What are you going to do when you grow up?
Yeah, I think more of this. It's so much. I really do have so much to thank both of you for, and a lot of the people on this call. I mean, I have family. I was looking through here. I have 20 of my family and friends on here, and business partners, and all of our engineers and coders, and hundreds of our customers and members are already on here. So I am just very blessed and grateful to be in this position. I'm thankful for the mentorship of you guys, setting up the mindset to create really Hapbee. I mean, Hapbee went from like kind of a recreational entertainment product to a mental wellness product. And now we're giving people choose how you feel throughout the day because of this whole mindset way of life that we want to serve people with. So again, thank you guys so much. It's been a joy to know you, and thanks for today and your time.